Storm clouds loomed over Valoria's capital. There he #RVS shadows mirroring the turmoil that gripped the Crystal Palace as dawn broke on a kingdom in crisis. Queen Meghan stood #NE in her private chambers, her midnight blue gown shimmering with silver filigree, her coronet a cold weight upon her brow. The air was thick with the scent of wax and parchment, but it could not mask the bitter tang of betrayal that clung to her heart. Mere days after the collapse of her and Prince Harry's £100 million Netflix contract, a new wound had been struck. A documentary, Shadows of the Crown, released without warning, featuring Meghan's estranged father, Lord Thomas of Eldoria. #S gravelly voice, broadcast across the kingdom's magical scrying orbs, accused her of a scandalous pact from her youth, a secret that threatened to unravel her legitimacy as queen. The revel at #Ion had set Valoria ablaze, from the nobles' halls to the taverns of the Shadow District, each whisper sharpening the blade of doubt. The palace, once a beacon of opulence, felt like a fort #S under siege. Tonight, Meghan had planned to face the High Council, a desperate bid to rally support amid the kingdom's #failing harvests, a crisis tied to the weakening Starstone, a mythical #relic said to bind Valoria's prosperity to the royal line. Her emerald eyes, usually fierce with resolve, were clouded with pain as she traced the edge of a gilded mirror, her reflection a stranger. For years, she had battled rumors, her foreign roots, her reluctance to embrace Valoria's ancient rights, the Vic #IOU's claims of a fake pregnancy, and the manipulated video falsely showing Harry with another woman. But this was different. Lord Thomas, exiled to the outer provinces for his defiance of the monarchy, had resurfaced with a vengeance, his words in the documentary a calculated strike. "My daughter has deceived Valoria. Before she took the crown, she made a pact that could destroy us all." The specifics remained vague, but the implication was devastating, a betrayal that questioned her right to rule. The council chamber buzzed with chaos as Meghan entered, her gown trailing like a storm cloud. The nobles' eyes were #Cole #D, their whispers venomous, fueled by the documentary's allegations. Her father's voice echoed in their minds, replayed endlessly across the kingdom. Where was Prince Harry? Why had he not stood #OD by her to counter this assault? Meghan's fingers tremble #Ed as she gripped the council table, her composure a fragile mask. Harry's absence was a fresh wound, his whereabouts unknown since their last heat-D exchange. Days ago, at the Duskglow Inn, he had met with Caliph, a keeper of the veil, to decode a cipher protecting the Starstone. Meghan had demanded transparency, weary of his secrets with Lysera, Vera, and Caliph. No more shadows, she had plead, but Harry's promise to return with answers had gone unfulfilled. A breathless herald rushed #D into the chamber, his face ashen. "Your Majesty, Prince #C Harry has been sighted at the Emberlight Lodge, in the Shadow District, with an unknown woman. The guards await your command." The words struck like a #thunderclap, the nobles' gasps echoing through the hall. Another woman, another secret. A #ND now her father's betrayal on full display. Meghan's heart pounded, a mix of fury and despair, but she forced her voice to remain steady. "Take me to him," she commanded, sweeping through #a hidden passage, her gown rustling against the cold stone walls. A plain carriage sped through the capital's winding streets, past flickering lanterns and shuttered stalls, the clatter of hoofs a relentless drumbeat. Meghan's thoughts were a tempest #. She recalled her father's bitterness, his exile after clashing with the royal court, his resentment at her ascent to the throne. The Netflix documentary, Produ said without her consent, was his revenge, but its timing felt orchestrated, as if tied to the Starstone's peril warned of by Caliph. Was her father a pawn in a larger game? The Emberly #GHT Lodge loomed ahead, its faded facade glowing #G with a conspiratorial light, its air thick with wood smoke and secrecy. Meghan pulled her hood low, her steps swift as she navigated the tavern's smoky common room, ignoring the curious stares of patrons. She climbed #ENA row stairs to the room named by the herald, her pulse a deafening roar. She pushed the door open without knocking. Harry stood by a small table, his auburn hair disheveled, his green eyes wide with urgency. Beside him sat A.W. Oman cloaked in charcoal grey, her face partially obscured by a hood, her hands clutching a leather-bound tome. The scene was less scandalous than the rumour suggested, but the sting of Harry's secrecy remained. Meghan's voice cut through the silence, sharp as a blade. Harry, another meeting in the shadows. While my father destroys me on Netflix, tearing my name apart, you'll hear with yet another stranger. The woman rose, lowering her hood to reveal a face etched with wisdom and weariness, her hazel eyes glinting with resolve. I am Seraphine, she's #aid, her voice calm but resonant. I am an archivist of the Veil, keeper of Valoria's forgotten histories. Prince Harry sought me to uncover the truth behind your father's claims. Harry stepped forward, his hands raised in desperation. Meghan, the documentary is a lie, twisted to serve the traitor we've been hunting. Seraphine has proof your father was manipulated. His words were coerced to hide a grieter thr #e to the Starstone. Meghan's eyes blazed, her voice trembling with pain. My father. Coerced. He's betrayed me, Harry, and you're still keeping secrets. First Lysera, Vera, Caliph, now Seraphine. While the kingdom calls me a fraud. The documentary's allegations be earned, Lord Thomas's claim of a pact, a shadowy deal from her youth she could not recall. The doubt gnawed at her, a seed of fear that her past held secret #it's even she did not know. Seraphine opened the tome, revealing pages filled with ancient script and glowing runes. This is the Chronicle of the Veil, she said. It records a ritual from decades ago, when your father, L#Ord Thomas, swore #allegiance to a secret faction opposed #to the monarchy. He claims you made a pact, but the truth is he did, to destabilize Valoria by weakening the Starstone. Someone coerced him to pin the blame on you, using Netflix to spread the Lee #e. She produced a small, shimmering scroll, its edges pulsing with light. This scroll bears #a spell that can reveal the traitor's influence. It points to someone within the palace. Harry took Meghan's hand, his touch pleading. I should have told you, he said, his voice thick with regret. I for #and Seraphine to uncover the truth before it destroyed you. The traitor is using your father to break us apart #t. Meghan pulled away, her heart torn between betrayal and duty. You've broken my trust, Harry, she said, but if Valoria is at stake, we face it together. Seraphine #s hazel #s gleamed. The Starstone's chamber lies beneath the palace. GU #old be #y traps only a royal can disarm. The traitor knows you're close to the truth. We must act now. Meghan straightened, her coronet a reminder of her duty. Her father's be #a trail, the documentary, the pain, they could WA it. Valoria's future hung in the balance. Lead on, she said, her voice #hey left the lodge, the storm clouds parted, revealing a moon that cast treacherous shadows. The traitor was out there, their identity ill hidden, but Meghan's resolve burned brighter than her pain. The Starstone